Yeah, what did he say before? Did he mention when he was here one time before? What
70, I don't know what you got those notes on there. Some were 75 that were the evergreens, and the other ones he was planning for 50, but I have no idea.
Well, we'll just have to check with him to get, to find out what we want.
And there's other people available too.
Yeah.
And one of the key things is protecting them
Yeah.
from deer. If you plant a sapling like this, like I know the folks that are up in your area, and I would imagine too, if you put little trees out, I know Dave Striegel up in their yard, but the deer raised heck with them, and I would imagine you folks see deer.
The deer eat my sumac down, and finally after about 5 years I'm getting a clump.
They,
Gone to the ground this year.
I had a little oak, and they kept eating the leaves off. They would shoot new ones. Finally, of course, a tree can't do it without it repeatedly, and it killed it. Next spring, it was nothing. I couldn't keep them away from it.
My white crabapple is at least that big around, and he evidently, every time he'd come by, took bark off of it.
You mean rubbing their antlers in the fall? Like scraping the side of the tree?
That far, and that far in, it's not dead yet, but I'll be really surprised if it made it this winter. And I had stakes around it, but that didn't stop me.
Now, what I've done out in the country is, okay, but raised them in these tubex, which are plastic tubes that
Yeah.
are about 5 feet tall, maybe 4 inches in diameter. Once I take that off, then I will put about 2 feet in diameter woven wire around the tree, about 5 feet tall. And if you don't do that, and what I did was for example, I planted rows of oaks and walnuts in a row, and the ones that were in the tubex and then protected with woven wire, those trees that were planted about 1989 or 90 are probably about 15, 17 feet tall. The ones that were not protected are either dead or shrubs about a foot to 2 feet tall.
Came up from the roots.
The deer just kept pruning them off, and all you get's a little bush, and they resprout again the next year, and then they eventually just die.
Mean.